2 minutes overtime. So,
Thank you.
gotta take it out of your pay. I'm gonna deduct your pay. All done. Especially yours. I'm gonna deduct that 0 to minus
No.
0.
This is what they did. Jenny?
Under the deck. They want
Yeah.
to go in and destroy it.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Township of Edison Zoning Board of Adjustment regular meeting is now in session. Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice published in the Home News and Tribune on January 20, 2022, and has been posted in the main lobby of the municipal complex on January 5, 2022. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Cassandra.
Mr. Ayat,
Here.
Ms. Shaw, Mr. Patel,
Here.
Mr. Skibar,
Here.
Mr. O'Gorman,
Here.
Mr. Barone,
Here.
Mr. Dave,
Here.
Vice Chair Cumba,
Here.
and Chair Zona Federer.
Here. Thank you, Cassandra. Good evening, everyone. A couple of announcements. Case Z34-2022 Shaw for 961 Beatrice Parkway. It's being carried to November 22nd with no renotice. This will be your notice. The only person notice will be the ones of the properties that were improper on the original notice. So again, the case is carried to November 22 without renotice. The next case, Z27-2021, Cheryl Lee, 12 and 18 Manning Street. That is carried to November 29, again with no renotice except the notice to be sent to the property that was improper on the original notice. So again, there will be no other notices sent, and the matter is carried to November 29. The next case, Z2022, Chevet Developers, 90 Municipal Boulevard, they have asked that the matter be carried to December 13. And again, there will be no renotice required. This is your notice that that matter is carried to December 13. And lastly, case Z032021, 401 Division Street, that application has been adjourned. A new date will be assigned, and there will be renotice required. So at this point, we have no new date. As I've been doing over the past several months, I've put together a little summary that I give prior to the meeting so that the public will be more informed as they watch the meetings or are here in public. And also because there's been so many misconceptions as to this board, as to how it operates, including what it may consider and may not consider, and its procedures in hearings. First of all, we are all volunteers and we do not get paid. We are appointed by council. We all have to attend a state training course, and we have our own in-house session when it is deemed necessary and appropriate. Naturally, during COVID, we were not able to do any in-house training. This year, we have done so. As I have said at prior meetings, the municipal land use law is the legal Bible by which this board operates, along with its own bylaws. This board differs greatly from the planning board. This board is quasi-judicial. That is, it is like a court, and its members like judges. And its impartiality rules and necessitate to address matters are in accordance with laws that are the same statewide, not only in Edison. Being impartial means board members are not to discuss the matter with the public until the matter is being heard at a meeting. The board has always and continues to proceed in the following manner. All matters concerning an application are not addressed by this board until the applicant's case is presented at a meeting. The board engages in no discussions and receives the applicant's submissions only days prior to the applicant's scheduled date. When the applicant has presented its testimony and evidence, the public portion is open to residents within 200 feet of the subject property, then those outside of 200 feet of the property. Each person is given only one chance to speak. All public are sworn in and subject to cross-examination by the applicant, the board, and board professionals. The public may ask questions to the applicant and their experts and board professionals. The law allows me as chair to stop anyone from being repetitive in their objections or to attempt to filibuster the board. Such redundancy in conduct prevents the efficient operation by the board. By law, as chair, I am also permitted to stop anyone from speaking if what they are saying is irrelevant to the case and prohibited from the board's consideration. I am also permitted to restrict all public comment to a time frame considered reasonable, which I have limited to 5 minutes in the past and reserve that right. Giving objectors 5 minutes each to speak has been upheld as reasonable in a case decision of the New Jersey Superior Court Appellate Division. I am not required to tolerate disruption or disrespect to this board. Once the public portion is closed, that is when I hit the gavel, it is closed and no one from the public will speak again. It will not be reopened under any circumstances unless new testimony is provided in the matter. The applicant then has the right of summation and the board votes. This has been the procedure of this board for more than 20-plus years, and its procedure or similar procedures are followed by every zoning board in the state of New Jersey. The board has an obligation to engage in a balancing act and is not required to strictly apply the township ordinances, zone plan, or the master plan, which is permitted by the municipal land use law. This is statewide conduct, again, by all boards of adjustment. As the name of the board suggests, we are a board of adjustment, adjustment being the operative word. Variances are granted when appropriately necessary, following all legal considerations. So having said that, Cassandra, can you call the first case, please?
Yes, case number Z29-2022, Tejas Parikh, 79 Winthrop Road, Edison, New Jersey, 08817, Section 3763-1. Bulk and use or D variances sought for compliance on an addition constructed to the existing single-family home against zoning permits issued. Lot area required is 7,500 square feet. Existing is 6,604 square feet. Minimum lot width permitted is 75, existing is 61 feet. Minimum combined side yard setback required is 18 feet, proposed is 14.2 feet. Max building coverage permitted is 23%, proposed is 27.12%. Max lot coverage permitted is 40%, and proposed is 46.92%. Max FAR permitted is 44, proposed is 44.35. Affected property is located in the RB zone designated as block number 1138, lot number 9 on the Edison Township tax map. All paperwork is in order.
Thank you, Cassandra. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Oh, you can sit down.
Thank you.
No problem.
My name is Richard Skiria. I am an attorney at Hanlon, Neiman and Wright. I represent the applicant Tejas Parikh. The board secretary has set forth the nature of the application. I would like to do a brief introduction, some history for the board before I call my witnesses, if that's acceptable to the board. This application is to request numerous bulk variances and also a FAR D4 variance for the construction of a small additional storage room at the side of the applicant's house. The applicants, Tejas and Anvi Parikh, are the owners of the property at 79 Winthrop Road, excuse me. The property is located in the RB zone. The property is currently 2 stories. The home was previously an existing 1-story dwelling, but it was properly permitted before the board for renovations and additions of a 2-story dwelling did not require any variances. However, after the permit approval, the applicant began an additional construction of a small storage room at the side of their house. Reason why the applicant will testify is because their basement was below the water table, couldn't hold storage. The applicant did not realize doing that he triggered variances, multiple variances, and also a D4 variance. Because of that, the applicant was issued a notice of violation by the Edison Township Code Enforcement Officer for stop work until the applicant obtains the proper zoning and construction permits. At that point, I corresponded with Edison Township, who stayed the violation pending this application. The relief that the applicant is seeking, 2 of the variances are pre-existing, which are lot area and minimum lot width. 7,500 square feet is required, whereas 6,604 square feet is proposed, which is a pre-existing non-conforming condition. The minimum lot width, 75 feet is required, where 61 feet is existing, which is a pre-existing condition. The variances, bulk variances that the applicant is seeking is a combined yard setback, 18 feet is required, whereas 14.2 feet is proposed. Maximum lot coverage, a maximum lot coverage of 23% is permitted, whereas the applicant is proposing 27.12%. Maximum impervious coverage, a maximum of 40% is permitted, where the applicant is proposing 46.92%. And then there is also a D variance, a D4 floor area ratio variance, where a maximum of 44% is permitted, where the applicant is proposing slightly over 44.35%. I have three persons here to testify today. The first will be the applicant, Tejas Parikh. He'll provide a brief background of his application. Second witness will be our engineer, Andrew Wu, who will describe the specific construct and the variances in the storage room. And the third witness is our planner, John DeKina, discuss the variances and request for relief for the variances. Our architect, Miguel Hernandez, is not here, so we will just probably mostly be referring to the plot plan or as-built survey, which I've put on the board here. Unless the board has any further questions, I do have just two additional exhibits to mark for the board. A1 will be a set of pictures, which are 4 pictures. Once I introduce these in evidence, I'll have copies to pass to the board. And A2 would just be the larger version of the as-built survey there. Unless the board has any questions, I'm ready to proceed my first
Okay,
witness.
Mr. Ahat, do you have anything to add to the summary that Mr. Steria just gave us as to
Yeah.
how this all happened?
Just to give the board a brief history, the applicant did submit an application back in May of 2020, and at that time, it was denied. And it was denied for lot coverage and for lot area, for lot width. It was denied for all the variances that they are seeking tonight. And it was sometime later in 2022 that I went out there, and I was informed that they had indeed started and began, and they were in the process of finishing the work that they were denied a permit for, and that's when I stopped the job. So that was the enclosure underneath the deck. They were told at that point in time they cannot complete the work, they have to come in for a variance. So I just want the board to be made aware that the work did continue after the fact that they were denied. So that is an issue.
Mr. Ahat, question. The addition that you talked about under the deck, this was denied before that was even in the picture? The first,
Yes.
the first
Correct.
submission did not have that, and that was denied.
Correct.
And then they went ahead and added more to the denial that was then denied.
That's correct.
Okay, that is a problem.
If I may respond, I will elicit testimony from my client. My understanding was that the initial application was denied, and then the application was resubmitted and approved to be permitted, and the storage room wasn't even part of the plans. And
That's correct.
the application began, the construction began properly with permits without the storage room being in the picture.
That's correct.
Right, okay. Once my client started with the storage room, my understanding is that the point was he was triggering multiple variances and he was building illegally
Yes.
at that point. I don't know what the time period was from the time he was building to the code enforcement violations, but once the violations were issued, my understanding was he had a stop work order, and then we promptly or soon after stopped work. The project is not complete. We haven't completed the project. And without the storage area, if we didn't have that, this application wouldn't be before the board. But because of the storage area, now he triggers those variances. But I just want to just clarify, I'm not sure if this is
Well-
correct or not. That he stopped, once he got the violations, he stopped work. That's
He
what I
did.
thought.
He stopped work once he received the violation.
Okay.
But at some point, there was an approval for what he originally built.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
fine.
how he got the original permit. It was approved.
Okay.
And we gave it to them to start the job.
Okay.
But then this work came about with
Right.
no permit,
No
and it pushed them over, which they were originally denied for with the lot coverage. So they were originally denied for lot coverage, and then by enclosing the downstairs of the staircase, that pushed their FAR and lot coverage over the allowable.
Correct.
All right.
Mr. Kamba, did you have a
So
question?
that I understand, the original permit was approved without the storage room?
My understanding, and I can have my client clarify through testimony, is that without the storage room and just the balcony, and we have pictures of the before pictures, that this project was approved
With the deck?
with the deck. Yes.
And then no drawing for file for the additional storage under the deck?
Right, so once my client started to enclose the deck and make a
Those
storage
drawings were
room,
never
there was no permit for that. So that was in violation.
Without the permit, no drawings were filed either?
No, excuse me, no.
No drawings were filed for that construction?
No, it was just added on. It was a mistake. It was added on. I'll have testimony. He spoke with his contractor thinking he can enclose it, but that was a violation. And so the work stopped at that point, and now we have to seek approval, or ultimately, if it's denied, we'll have to, remove it. That's
What was underneath the deck? That there's sidewalk?
I do
the
have.
Yes.
concrete
Yes,
sidewalk
there
there?
was nothing there at that
I
time.
do have pictures. Once my client testifies, I'll pass them around. I have pictures of before it was constructed, which is
But-
just concrete.
Sir, if I may, that was denied in 2020 for that reason, because they would be encroaching on the side yard setback and therefore increasing the combined side yard setback. So this was denied in 2020 for that reason, and then they went ahead and enclosed it anyway. Correct?
Right, that's
without the permit.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
My question is different. The architect is not here, but the calculation that you made here for impervious coverage, was there a concrete sidewalk there underneath the storage that you are building?
Yes,
Sidewalk was there before?
yes,
Okay, so it was accounted for the impervious coverage?
yes. That's
Miss-
correct.
Mr. Kamba, did you
That
have?
could not be, but then how you're exceeding from 40 to 44%?
Well, because we had to add additional concrete for the storage room. And again, I can have my professionals may more accurately testify as to the specifics of that.
Okay, all right.
So we'll make sure to list the testimony on why we trigger that variance and increase.
Mr. Kamba, did
Thank you,
you?
Madam Chair. So just from following the issuance of the zoning permits, May 31st, 2020, they received a permit for interior alteration at a level. And then March 16th, 2021, it was for a new 12 by 20 rear deck. So that actually leads to a question I have for Mr. Ayotte. Mr. Ayotte, I noticed on the current plans, there are stairs going up to the second level. Was that part of what you had approved in 2021, or is this something new as well?
Yes.
It was? Okay.
That was improved. in 2020.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I'm
Not
good.
the enclosure.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what they're here for. They're here for the enclosure.
I know, I'm following you.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Kamba?
Yes, thank you, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
Mr. Sterry, I think we have all the preliminaries out. Can you want to continue, please?
Yes, my first witness is Tejas Parikh. Is he over here? Sworn in.
Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes.
And you might want to pull that microphone closer.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Parikh, good evening.
Good.
Are you the owner of the property on 79 Winthrop Road?
Yes.
Okay. And who owns the property with you?
My wife, Anvi Parikh,
Okay. How long have you owned the property?
since March 2013.
Okay. And originally, your house was a one-story dwelling, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And at some point, did you apply for renovations of your home to add a second story?
That's correct.
Okay. And describe what renovations you were seeking initially for the adding the second story.
Sure. So after adding the second story, we discovered that we need the more storage area because we didn't build the basement due to the water issue I have been seeing from my purchase. We are 6 people living in that house. We need more storage area for the various stuff. That's why we plan to build this non-living storage space under the balcony.
So let me back up before the storage. I just want to talk about the preliminary renovations. You applied for renovations to build a second story, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what was the reason for that, for a second story?
For the second story, the house was very old when I purchased. This was built in 1955, if I'm correct. So we want to go for the new construction.
And ultimately, you submitted permits, but ultimately you were approved for permits to build a two-story dwelling, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was with, the approval was with a balcony, but not to be enclosed and open deck or balcony, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And then what, at some point, did you decide to enclose that balcony with a storage area or put walls underneath the balcony?
Yes. This,
Okay. What was the reason why you chose, after you were approved, to construct that storage room underneath the balcony to enclose?
Yeah, we feel we need to have more storage space.
Okay. And were there any other reasons why you did that, you enclosed it? Did you have, besides having more storage space in there?
Yes, after we moved our stuff and we start living it, we thought the area is 2,600 from the both floors, but we have a lot of luggages. Like as I mentioned, we are 6 people living with my kids, my parents. We do a lot international travels. We have a lot of travelers bags, so we need like more dry storage,
Okay.
and that is the best place where we can use as a storage.
And where originally were you planning to put your storage when you did the initial renovations on the house?
This is my first house I built, so I didn't had like, once it built, I thought like we will manage and we'll go from there.
When you built that storage room, did you know at the time that you had to apply for variances or a permit application for that additional storage room?
No, the gentleman mentioned before we applied that enclosure under the balcony and we got denied, but that time it was for living family room application. So it was applied for the family room. So we are under impression right now we are making non-living storage space. So it is 2 different things for like as per my perspective. But then when we come to know, no, it needs approval and variance. That's why I contact you and we go for the procedure. Mhm.
And I want to show you just a few pictures to describe the board. We can mark as A1, which is 4 pictures. Should I, Nishad, just give
You
these?
can pass them around.
Yeah,
That would be,
please, yeah.
if you want to just hand it over to Cassandra. Cassandra, if you want to make sure. There are 4 pictures, so they're all packet A1.
Just for the record, A1, which is four pictures, and I'll describe each one. Okay, so I have marked A1 4 pictures to the board. Can you just describe each picture, what this first one is on the top?
So the first one is before the storage construction, like after we got all approval and we renovate the house, and we moved in June 2021.
Excuse me, just 1 second. Ms. Shaw, so it's one package of 4 photos, all marked A1, so the board is going to have to pass it down and share for everybody to view it.
So let us look at it first before he speaks
Oh,
on it,
that's
please,
fine. I
Mrs. Lurie.
apologize. Sure.
No, that's okay.
I might have another set I can pass on this end.
Oh, that would be good. in too, so.
What I'm saying is that because he poured this slab underneath, he has FAR, which is construction equipment. It is covered. Covering black cover it because he's covering the balcony. Cover is not like this. Covers the balcony.
Okay.
Nothing underneath.
Mr. Sterry, I do have one question. If this is going to be used just for storage, why is there windows there and another door? Why isn't it completely enclosed? If you're going to use
My-
it just for storage, why do you need windows and why do you need a door?
I can ask the client that. I don't know the
Please.
answer personally. I know it's not, it's in mid-construction there.
Pardon me?
It's in mid-construction
Yes, I
there,
know,
so-
but there are windows on the side, and it is framed for a door. So again, if you're using it for construction, I'm sorry, for storage, there should not be a door. Maybe if you want the windows for some light, but there's no need for a door there. Having a door there leads me to believe that it might be used for something other than storage.
I will ask the client that one.
Yeah, right, I know, you can see them right here. Oh, did you see this? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, because that's a load bearing wall. Yeah. And the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a load bearing wall, right? Wouldn't that?
No, this is, no, it's front to back.
Front to back, okay.
Keep this for your records.
Yeah, originally they wanted to make this.
I'm sorry. The underneath the balcony, there you have a 4x4 or 6x6 curb, wood curb. And what is inside? Is it stone or is it concrete? In this photo, what was originally before you started building enclosing the space? What you had originally as yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a concrete block.
It was a rock, right? They were rock. It was not solid concrete sidewalk or concrete walkway.
Yes.
Underneath the balcony, what was there before you
Yeah,
started?
concrete, yes.
It was concrete walkway or it was just the loose stone?
Concrete. When I bought the house, it was sunroom there, so it was already concrete there, yeah.
No, but when you filed the original application
Yes,
and you
it was
got the permit, that permit was approved based on just the concrete walkway or it was just the loose stone sitting there underneath the balcony?
Concrete. Yes, concrete.
What was the floor there before you start enclosing the storage?
Concrete.
It was concrete?
Yes.
Okay. And you added more concrete there on the side to extend the more on the side?
No. No, there is no change on the floor.
That's a driveway, that was always this.
No, but this underneath here, what is this? It looked like it is a stone.
No, because you had stairs coming down here. There was a sidewalk.
Okay.
This was concrete here.
Does the board have any other questions while we're looking at these pictures
I
now?
have a question,
Yes,
Chairman.
Mr. Ayotte.
Chairwoman. Did your driveway go all the way to the back? Did it go to alongside your porch, your driveway?
No, there is a pillar in between, so no.
I know that, I can see that, but did your driveway extend to alongside your steps on the side? Did the driveway come back that far?
Yes, that far
Did,
there's concrete,
okay.
yes.
The reason I'm trying to understand is where did you add additional lot coverage and where did you add additional impervious coverage? If the slab was there, you're not adding more slab, where did you put extra lot coverage?
Yeah, it was there.
You need to have an
know the answer.
architect here, who have prepared the drawings.
I mean, if he doesn't know, I'm certainly will have the engineer answer that question. Just what the board's asking you is, before that was built, okay, besides the storage area, was there any other concrete added, either behind it or around it, or any other impervious lot coverage added on the plans?
No,
No, okay.
So that does not make sense. The applicant does not make sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask the engineer that then.
100%.
I will. I don't know why. No.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, anything, Mr. Kamba, at this point? You want to wait a little? Okay, go ahead.
So, sir, going to your architectural plan, your proposed right side elevation, you're calling for 4 windows in the addition. If you're going to use it for storage, I don't understand the need for the 4 windows.
If the board grants the application, allows it for storage, we can always adjust that if the board feels. These were the 4 windows in the plan, the plans, I believe. Let me see, for the storage area. Yeah, obviously, if the 4 windows, the board feels is unnecessary, is too much, we will adjust accordingly on that. My
Just-
belief it was for light, but, I can
So
have
the storage-
testimony.
So
on
the,
that.
so the luggage can have light on it? I'm not following the logic here. It's not like it's not like it's on the facade of the building, where it would be, you'd want to see windows in the front of the building. It's to the side. So it's looking onto the driveway, almost looking onto to the neighbor's property, and nobody's going to be in there. It's for storage. I wouldn't want a window looking into my storage area.
Well, again, I'll have the client testify as to that, but it's not uncommon for garages and storage areas to have some sort of extra light. They're usually
I
dark
agree.
areas.
I just think 4 is a little excessive.
Are you finishing that space? Are you putting electric? Are you putting air in and lights and all this stuff in there?
no air, no HVAC, no heating, no air condition, light, yes,
So electric outlets would be there and lights would be there.
lights, yes.
And what's the purpose for the door if it's just for storage?
You go ahead, you can answer, why don't you answer?
It's a storage room and it's right in the front, so it's just security purpose.
Well, its security purpose would be better if there was no door there, because then you don't have to worry about anybody getting in. Okay, we'll keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
If I guess a client question, if the board decided as a condition of this application to remove the door and limit the number of windows, would you be okay? Would you be
Correct.
acceptable
Yes.
with that?
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can keep going, Mr. Stereo. I'm sorry, Mr.
Oh.
Skibor, I
And-
didn't realize that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to clarify, so there is an entrance into the home existing in the new addition,
Correct, yes, that's,
and that would stay as is?
yes.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Anybody else? No. Okay, you can continue,
Thank-
Mr. Stereo.
Thank you. So if you can describe the first picture, I just want to, I think we're halfway through that. Describe what the first picture is that was in the packet here as A1.
So yes, this is before the construction of the storage.
Okay. And this is what it was That was originally approved by the township permit, is that correct? Okay. And the second picture, can you describe what the second picture?
That is current. That is the current structure.
Okay. And does that accurately depict what it looks like today, as we see here today?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the storage area in question
Yes.
that we're talking about here today? Okay. And then the third picture, is that just a view from the front?
Correct.
Okay.
The close view.
Okay. And the last picture, is that a view from the rear?
Yes, the back side of the storage.
Were you planning to add, there's an opening there, is that a construction opening, or were you planning to add another door back there?
Yeah, that's opening to go to the backyard.
To go to the back, okay. So again, just to clarify, you have a storage area of 4 windows and a door in the front and a door in the back. If the board were to grant this as a condition to modify or eliminate those doors and windows, would you be agreeable?
Yes.
Okay. When did you find out that building the storage room was in violation of the zoning ordinances? How did you find that out?
After 1 day of the construction, yes.
I'm sorry, say that again. So,
After 1 day of the construction in
Okay.
February 2020.
what happened? How did you find that out?
I got the stickers on the front,
Okay.
the stop the construction. Yes.
Okay. So you got a stop construction sticker.
Correct.
Did you get any notices, violation notices, in addition to the stop work?
Yes, in the mail, yes.
Okay. When you got those violation notices, did you stop construction after that?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And since those violation notices, you haven't done any construction or anything?
That's
further?
correct, yes.
Okay. And again, is your testimony that you did not intentionally did not realize that this would violate the zoning ordinances by constructing the storage room?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And whatever the board decides, whether the board decides to grant the storage room, to modify it, or eliminate it altogether, whatever this board decides, you will agree to comply with what the board decides here today?
Yes, I will.
Okay. I have no more questions.
Okay, does the board have any more questions of the applicant at this point? Moving along.
Thank you. All right.
you.
you're
Thank
done. My next witness is Andrew Wu. Is he in here?
Mr. Wu, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And please state your full name for the record.
Yeah, my name's Andrew Wu. W is 168 U.S. Highway 1 North in Edison.
Can we have some qualifications, please, Mr.
Yes.
Serio?
Whom are you employed, Mr. Wu?
I'm the owner of the Formosa Engineering.
Okay. And what is describe your profession, what your job description is?
I got my master's degree from University of Cincinnati in 1981, and I got my professional license in 1983, and I got my professional land surveyor license in 1994, and I have appeared many times before this board.
Okay.
Okay,
And-
we'll accept this qualification.
Thank you. Okay. Can you describe the proposed application by the applicant, what the applicant is seeking here today before this board?
Yeah, like the front page describes, there are two pre-existing non-conforming violations. One is the lot area. This is in RB zone. The lot area's minimum is 7,500 square feet. We only have like a 6,600 square feet, but that is pre-existing. Also, the lot width is 75 feet. We are only 66 feet. That's also pre-existing. But
Okay, so before that, so those two conditions are just pre-existing nonconformities with the shape and size of the property, correct?
that's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Describe the other variances
The
here.
other variance, because of the storage construction, we trigger 3 additional variance. One is the combined side yard setback. Combined setback is minimum is 18 feet, and we only have like 14 point some feet. We are in violation of that one, and the other two, one is the lot coverage violation, the other one is impervious coverage violations.
Okay, and let me describe each of these more, and there's also a D4, is it correct, a variance for floor area ratio? Saw here today.
Yeah, for floor area ratio, is only over a little bit because the percentage requires 44%. We have 44.35%. We are only like 10 square feet. So I show my calculation very accurately. Even over a little bit, I still show it's over a little bit.
So it's fair to say we technically trigger that variance, but it's
Correct.
de minimis. Is that correct? It's just
Yes.
I want to go through each of these variances a little carefully, and then we'll answer some questions for the board. So the first variance, the side yard setback, where 18 feet is required, whereas 14.2 feet is proposed. So first, there's no single side yard setback on the side. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And what triggers the combined side yard setback? Yeah.
Because the storage, the construction of the storage, and the is not only under the balcony, we extend 3 more
Okay.
feet.
So before that storage area was built, it didn't trigger that setback, but due to the overhang
That's
of
right.
it, it does.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the lot coverage, can you describe that variance a little more specifically as to what we're seeking for the lot coverage?
Lot coverage is also because of the construction of the storage room, so we have more areas, square footage to be counted in.
And is it fair to say when the storage area was not enclosed, it would not, when it was just a balcony or deck, it would not trigger, it would not be included in lot coverage beforehand?
That's correct.
All right. And the enclosure has caused it to increase?
The enclosure cost that we treat it like a room.
Okay. And what is the square footage of the storage approximately? No, that offhand.
So I have to calculate this.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll hold on for now. Now, one question, the maximum impervious coverage, and this will answer a question from one of the board members. Can you describe the maximum impervious coverage and why the percentage is increased from 40%, where maximum is permitted, and the applicant is now proposing 46.92%?
The increase from 40% to 46.92% because we have some concrete on the rear of the next to the composite deck, and then we also have some concrete area next to the deck that all increase the lot coverage areas. That's why we have increase from 40% to 46.92%.
So, and maybe the applicant didn't realize this. So the lot coverage is not just due to the storage area. I'm sorry, the impervious coverage is not just due to storage area, but some concrete around on the sides.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And what's the purpose of the concrete there to add that? Yeah.
Well, the concrete areas, the concrete, many purpose. They maybe want to use as a barbecue or some platform, but the concrete area is the.
Okay. So that explains the increase in the impervious coverage because there's some more concrete area around.
That's correct.
Around the house. Okay. And then finally, if you can describe the floor area ratio variance, that we're slightly over.
Slightly over the regulation allows 44%, and we have 44.35%. So it's changing to the size, we are talking about more 10 or 15 square feet.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add besides these questions here today to the board?
No.
Okay.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Wu?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. DeVay.
So your original drawing, the way they were permitted, you are adding more sidewalk, more concrete walk on the back and the side?
Yes.
The one that you see now behind the storage, where your composite deck is and your steps are, that concrete is added now that was never approved before in your original drawing, the permitted set?
That I cannot answer, I don't know.
Right, so this is what the wrong with this application. If you, that's what you are adding concrete. If you get rid of that concrete on the side and on the back side, you would bring down your lot coverage and impervious coverage down. You added almost 7% by adding that concrete.
Yes,
Is your
if-
client ready to lose that concrete?
If we eliminate the concrete, we can reduce the impervious coverage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
yes, that's
FAR
correct.
is not an issue, you are within FAR limits, so you can have the FAR, but your lot coverage, you need to bring it down, and you need to bring down impervious coverage, so lose all that concrete that you're adding, and you bring down all those, lot coverage you need to lose by 4%, and impervious coverage you need to lose by 7%.
That's correct.
Are you able to do it? Is your client willing to do it?
Right,
And the
so-
only issue there at that point is, it's up to board. So you're reducing 18 foot, your side yard setback, you're reducing it to 14.2. You're cutting 4 foot. You need to cut back and stay underneath your balcony, then you would be staying within your limits.
Yeah, and I believe my client, if that was a condition to remove all that concrete to eliminate or reduce the impervious coverage and lot coverage, that my client would be acceptable.
What about losing the setback? Just stay within, underneath the balcony and not go beyond the balcony.
That one will make the setback just about 18 feet.
Correct.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Yes.
Stay underneath the balcony. Don't go beyond. Just the roof section that you have, lose the roof section.
Which is what it was originally applied for.
That's correct.
Now, I'll leave up to board whether they want the windows or they will allow windows and doors or not. That's up to the rest of the board members.
Could I have just 30 seconds with my client? I just want to see.
Sure.
Well, if they,
I'm sorry, would it be okay if I just took a 5-minute recess with my client and just see the proposed amendments, if we can work that and present that as a proposal? I think.
Like to make a compromise, so.
I think there was a request from the board to, my understanding is the request from the board was to eliminate the concrete, or less from the board member, eliminate the concrete and to, instead of bring the storage area down, to bring it straight down
Correct.
from the balcony.
Correct.
If I can have just 5 minutes with my client to see if that's a feasible proposal. I don't want to say anything that's misstated, or
Sure.
if that's okay. All right,
Not a problem.
thank you.
We'll take a 5-minute break.
I
then.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Are we back on? Yes, we're back on. I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Ayotte?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Does this have a full basement or is it slab on grade?
There is no basement. There is
So I'm sorry.
crawling space. Yes.
Okay, so it's a slab on grade.
Yeah.
It's a-
Like 2 feet. Yes.
Okay. Oh, you have a crawl space?
What is cross space?
You
have a little-
you have a
you have a
slab on
section.
grade, trust me.
Yes. Yes.
You have a slab on grade. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Mr. Ayotte? Okay. Okay, Mr. Scurio?
Yes, I did. I like to recall Mr. Parikh as we're talking about. I think I was done questioning Mr. Wu, but I want to call Mr. Parikh about the alternatives that the board is proposing on the storage room. I believe my client has a request for an alternative, a possible alternative here. You've heard the board explain that the impervious coverage was, 7%, way above the amount. Okay. And you heard the board testify about to other aspects of the storage room. Okay. Do you have an ask or alternative proposal you want to present to the board to see if they would consider that? Okay. You can go ahead.
Sure. So I want to request we can eliminate the concrete which is behind the storage room. That will reduce the lot coverage and impervious coverage. So it will reduce it, but it may not eliminate. About the storage, rather than cutting from the side, I would like to request cutting from the back. So where I have the stairs, so that will eliminate the FAR.
It doesn't work. FAR is not an issue. The side yard setback is an issue.
Okay. So the issue is the jutting out of the storage
Correct.
area, and
Correct.
the request from the board would be you can have the same length, but go straight down from the balcony.
Correct.
Okay. So let me ask, if the board's condition of approval, if the board granted this approval with a condition that would go straight down from the balcony, would you be acceptable with that? If that was the condition, the board?
Yes, I would accept it, but I would strongly request, because it will be very narrow and it will eliminate the purpose of the storage. It will be very small storage, because that is also door to go in kitchen. So we should consider to come and back and forth like walkway. So with walkway, the storage space is really limited. So
Do you have an attic? You have an attic?
no, I do have the attic, but
You have access to the attic?
access, yes, I do have the access.
You're using that as a storage room or no?
No, it is too high. No, it is the ladder is it's not safe. Yeah, we don't use that attic.
And would you like to keep at least one of the doors just for access to the storage area?
That's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And do you have any preference as to the number of windows, whether it's
No, whatever board suggest on that. Yes.
okay? So is it fair to say that your request or your hope, if it was granted, to eliminate the back where the side would stick out, but if that wasn't approved by the board or the board wasn't entertaining that, would you be agreeable to go straight down, even though it's not the best scenario from the balcony?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. DeVay. Well, yeah, let's just keep going. I assume the rest of your testimony,
I just have the planner.
yeah.
And
And-
I'll bring the planner up.
Okay, fine.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I call Ms. John Dakina.
Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And please state your full name for the record.
My name is John Taikita.
We need the microphone, because then we get a lot of complaints that people can't hear at home. So we need the microphone, please.
Okay.
We can hear you, but not everybody
I know.
else can.
So my name is John Taikina. I'm the principal of all things planning and development in South Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm a licensed planner in the state of New Jersey and have been since October of 1992. So I've been doing this for 30 years. I have spent most of my career After starting as the zoning officer in Metuchen, so Mr. Ayat, I know exactly what you're dealing with. Everybody should have to be a zoning officer at some point in their planning career. I've been a planner since '92. Most of the time, I testify on behalf of applicants just like this. I've appeared before more than 75 boards in the state of New Jersey, including the Edison Planning Board. I was supposed to be before you last month, but unfortunately, our application was carried. So you'll see me again at the end of the month.
Okay, thank you. We'll accept your qualifications, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Contini, can you describe the application here from the applicant today?
Certainly. So we are seeking a few bulk variances from the ordinance. This is an existing lot in the RB district, as Mr. Wu described. We have existing nonconformities of 6,604 square feet for lot area, where 7,500 square feet is required. We have a 61-foot width, where 75 feet is required. There are existing nonconformities allowed to continue. The continued development of the property was an approximately 320 square foot addition. The applicant has proposed to reduce that by a little over 120 square feet. So it takes off, what you're proposing would take off about 3.65 feet of width back to the originally permitted conforming 18 feet total side yard setback. So the total side yard setback variance would go away as well. Our lot coverage would come down by that 120 square feet. We still would require a lot coverage variance. We were 273 square feet over. Now we're going to be about 150 square feet over because the porch, I guess, didn't count as lot coverage. It only counted as impervious coverage, so it kind of changed into a new category. So we're still going to have a slight lot coverage variance, and our maximum impervious coverage was 46.92. It was about 456 square feet over. The reduction there is about 200 square feet by taking off the impervious in the back and taking off the impervious where the addition existed. So that'll drop down to about 44%.
So I just want to clarify, so both these alternatives, there's one alternative, the preferred alternative from the client would to keep the width and eliminate part of the back. And I guess the preferred alternative from the board is to eliminate that side, go straight down from the balcony and go straight out. I mean, both those alternatives, is it correct? It eliminates the D variance, correct?
Correct.
Right.
The proposal that Mr. Parikh has asked for eliminates about 60 square feet. And the proposal that the board asked for to cut it back by 3.65 feet, that would eliminate twice that, about 120 square feet.
Okay. And it also, the proposal from the board to go straight down, would that eliminate the side yard, the combined side yard setback?
Yes, that would eliminate the combined side yard.
The proposal from the client would not, though,
Correct.
right? Okay.
We retain that side yard setback.
And then but the other variances, the lot coverage, impervious coverage will both be reduced, but neither of those would be eliminated completely.
Correct.
Either scenario.
Correct.
Okay. And then, is there anything further you would like to?
Sure. So
Talk about that
the
with the
FAR variance
hardship, yeah.
in either proposal, the FAR variance goes away. For the C variances, they would be C2 variances. As the board knows, there's several findings you need to make that it relates to a specific piece of property. It's in purposes of the MLU all are advanced. The variance can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good. And then that the benefit of granting the variance outweighs the detriment imposed. And then finally, that the variance won't impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan. In this case, the variances clearly relate to 79 Winthrop Road and no other property. The following purposes of the MLUL are advanced, I believe, to provide purpose G, to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of agricultural, residential, recreational, commercial, and industrial uses in open space according to their respective environmental requirements in order to meet the needs of New Jersey citizens, and to encourage coordination of various public and private procedures and activities shaping land development with a view toward lessening the cost of such development to the more efficient use of the land. The variances for the proposed storage area, they're not a noxious use. This isn't something that's bad. It's a single-family home. The storage area is located in an area of the site that was previously developed, previously had a sunroom. Then it was proposed with the balcony and merely enclosing the area under the balcony. It will not have any substantial detriment to the public good at all. The benefits of granting this variance outweigh the detriments, as the storage room will allow for interior storage of these items in a neat and orderly manner. Finally, negative criteria applies to all the variances. The proposal is not impairing the intent and purpose of the zone plan or the master plan. The master plan and its reexaminations have been struggling with the RB district dating back to 2003, and again for the reexamination in 2011, in terms of how do you regulate these areas while encouraging people to make investments in their homes and improve their properties. So it's been a balancing act, and as you can see, that balancing act continues. We don't believe we're impairing the intent and purpose of that in any such way. But again, we're merely seeking for that balance with an attractive modern home in an established neighborhood. So in no way are we impairing the intent and purpose of the zone plan or the master plan. 79 Winthrop remains a lovely single-family home, albeit on a modest lot. So in closing, we believe the board can make the appropriate findings, and I'm available for any questions.
I have no further questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
does the board have any questions of Mr. Takina? None? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Anything else, Mr. Scara?
Just a quick closing.
Well, I have to go
before
out to the
No,
public.
no,
I just
no,
wanna
I'm
make
sorry.
sure- okay,
I
fine.
apologize. No other
Okay, not a
witnesses.
problem.
That's all the witnesses I
Okay,
have.
with that, I'll go out to the public. Anyone within 200 feet of the property wanting to be heard? Anyone outside of 200 feet of the property wanting to be heard? Okay, there being none, I'll close the case and I'll go to the board, please, for a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
just
I'm
want-
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, do the
Just a
summary.
quick, because there was a little modifications. I just wanted to clarify it. So obviously, the applicant is agreeable to modify the plan. Has heard the board, understood that. The applicant has proposed or requested a modification where they don't have to eliminate the going out beyond the balcony and reduce the area in the back and the concrete to reduce that coverage. And obviously, that's the applicant preferred modification. However, if the board decides otherwise and the board feels that it is more appropriate to go straight down from the balcony and eliminate the side yard setback, keep it going to the back, so you don't have the side yard back. But the applicant has testified that he would agree to that. Obviously, we're trying to adjust as best we can. It would reduce his area, but he would agree. He would comply with that if that's the preference of the board. Besides that, obviously, one door is the preference, so my client can have access. The windows, whether they're all eliminated or there's 4 or 2 or 1, client testified that he has no objection to whatever the board decides. And I thank the board for their time and working with us on the application to try to make this work, especially when it was built before being approved. Applicant appreciates the board's time here. Thank you.
Okay, yes, Ms. Shaw?
If the board so approves, I would request that prior to any permits being issued as a part of the resolution, there would have to be amended site plans to conform with what the board decides. Cassandra, do you want an amended application as well?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, amended site plan and amended application to be filed.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, everyone having said what they said, I will now go to the board for a motion, please.
Madam, I'll make the motion to approve the application with the conditions that the proper drawings would be prepared and you will come up with the new calculations with the new FAR, new lot coverage and new building coverage based on reduction of the walkway, concrete walkway, and also removing the roof area, and you would go straight down from the balcony, underneath the balcony. the applicant agreed to to remove the storage area beyond the balconies and to eliminate the side yard setback variance. Also reduce the concrete walkway at the backside to reduce the coverage and improve the impervious coverage. Applicant agreed to remove the backside door or remove what did you, the front or
front
back?
The backside door, we can keep the front side
The-
and remove the backside.
All right, so agreed
I would,
to
excuse me, I would prefer just the opposite.
board decision.
Does the board have any preference? What-
Right, so,
Well, let's, hold on. So, Mr. DeVey can make the motion, and if somebody chooses to amend the motion,
Okay.
he can amend the motion.
Okay,
okay. So applicant agrees to eliminate the door in the front and leave the backside door. Applicant also agreed to remove all the windows as well. And the new permit would be pulled for this addition, and the new application would be submitted, Cassandra, as well.
okay, so we ended up with the back door staying, the front door closed.
Correct.
Okay, all right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? That's with coming down straight, no front door, back door, and no windows. Correct, Mr.
Correct.
DeVey?
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please, Cassandra?
Mr. Skibar,
Yes on the motion.
Mr. O'Gorman,
Yes on the motion.
Mr. Barone,
Yes on the motion.
Mr. Patel,
Yes on the motion.
Mr. Dave,
Yes to the motion.
Vice Chair Kamba,
Yes on the motion.
and Chairwoman Federick.
Yes on the motion.
you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you
Thank-
for
thank
everyone's
you.
patience. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.
Let's see. Cassandra, we have some resolutions, and then we have a closed session.
Yes, we have 3 resolutions to be adopted. The first one is case number Z13, 2022, Chegan Patel. Second one is case number Z32, 2022, Pankaj Sharma. And the third one is Z26, 2022, Pavitra Rangalingam. Granted.
Do I have a motion?
Wait,
Motion to
I'm s-
approve?
Hold
I'm
on, I'm sorry. The second resolution is denied, so I'm going to
Right,
say
what-
that again.
one-
Z32, 2022, Pankaj Sharma denied.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. We are now going to
Make a motion to go into closed session?
thank you. I'm getting tongue-tied. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We're going into closed session. Thank you. I got tongue-tied. Okay, we're okay. We're back in session, everyone, and with being back in session, I now
Motion to
need,
reconvene?
thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next motion, gentlemen?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good evening, everyone. See everyone next week. Stay safe, stay healthy.